Hi, I'm Adam Mackintosh, and I'm here today on behalf of Music Over Miles to talk to you about how to play simplified chords. That's simplified versions of chords that will get you to a place where you can play a more complex version of that chord. And we're going to talk a little bit about triads, the three tones, as in tri, tricycle, triad, the three tones that make a chord. By the end of this tutorial, you'll know how to build a chord and how to play a simplified version of it to get you on your way. I'm going to talk to you about some simplified chords. And this is one of my favorite subjects because people really struggle with chords when they're learning to play the guitar. You have to hold your fingers down and press down on the strings for a long time to get them to sound right while you're wiggling them around. And it's painful on your fingertips, and people get discouraged and stop playing because it hurts. Why would you want to do that? So these simplified chords serve two purposes. One, they're simpler. And two, I find that all the students that I've ever worked with, young and old, guitar players in general, they know this part of the neck up here above my finger until about the 12th fret. And everything below it, all of this area here, is like a mystery to them. They can't tell you what chords are here, what notes are there, completely uncharted territory, right? So, to be a well-versed guitar player and know this side of the neck as well as this side, using these chords is to your advantage. And they're simpler, so of course you're going to want to play them. The first one that I like is taking the bar major chord of G, and instead of barring your finger all the way across the neck, this is a bar chord, you just bar the first two strings, strings 1 and 2. And your second finger goes on the third string, 1 fret above that, on the 4th fret. Your third finger goes on the 5th fret, so 1 fret above your second finger. And you get this great little major chord. You might have trouble barring this or pinching down on this at first, but it will come very quickly. If you can't produce a note with the first string, that's okay, because this right here will work to make a G major on the 3rd fret. So I'm going to do all of these examples in between the 3rd and 5th fret so that you know this is G, this is A, G, F, G, A. This is a G major chord. You can hear that it sounds major when I play a minor chord alongside it. They're quite different. Major, minor. And the beauty of these is that I can go from the major to the minor chord by just taking off my second finger and putting my first finger up 1 string. So now I've got G major and G minor in my hand. And we're thinking of those relative to the G, like I told you, on the 6th string. Okay. So chords that are produced from the 5th string or have a root note on the 5th string, which would be a bar chord like this, are in reference to that root note. So when I play the first finger on the 3rd fret here on that G note, my second finger on the next fret up, the 4th fret, my pinky not my third or my ring finger, the next fret up and the next string up, the third string, 5th fret, and my ring finger on top of that on the 4th string gives me what you may hear is a minor chord. So this is a minor chord 2. It's in the same spot, which is kind of strange, as G, right? But this is a 5th string minor chord. So 6th string minor chord shape. You hear that root note makes sense. 5th string or 6th string major chord shape. G. That makes sense. 5th string roots. Minor chord shape. C minor. And so, if you remember that these chord shapes, minor and major, for the 6th string, those two are assigned to that root, and this minor and this major, which many of you may know as D major if you've played any guitar at all, is a D major triad, but when you move it up the neck, it's really cool, a whole step, it becomes an E major. Now I would like to put my pinky on the 4th string for this chord, because you don't want to hear a D under an E if that's not what you're playing. You're trying to play a D or you're trying to play an E. You want to hear that note under it. You want to hear an E. So I like to utilize this 4th string with my pinky and get one more note out of it to even out that major chord sound. So I'll take this down a half step to the 3rd fret where I made the G, and now this shape, unlike C minor, whose root was here, this triangle D shape moved up, is coming from the root on this D string. So when you play a D, it's coming from this D string. If you move that up a half step, it becomes a D sharp. It's going to be very difficult for you to finger a chord that contains both this major triangle triad chord, 3 notes, and this note, the D sharp. So you have to mute it with this finger, which means put your finger down and let it touch the string above it. Play a note, but also keep that string from making a sound. It's easy. You just do it enough times and feel where your finger is dropping. It will come to you. So you mute that string because you don't want a D under a D sharp, typically, unless that's what you're going for. And the easiest way to get rid of that is to put your pinky on. Even out that sound. Then you never have the D string doing it. But the chord is relative to the D string. So when I move this up from D, a half step or a whole step or a whole and a half step, E, F, G, A, B, C, all the way up the neck, it works, and will produce a major triad chord for you. You just have to remember that it's not relative really to either the 6th or the 5th string. It's kind of its own thing. What's really great about these chords is that you can do very little movement and play a lot of progression. So let's say you have G chord. Now you know that that's a major chord on the 3rd fret. So wherever you move that, it's going to make a major chord everywhere on the neck, that shape. What major chords are those? We'll get into that in intervals, but this one happens to be an A. This one happens to be a B, a C, a D, and an E. So here's your chord progression of a G to a C. You didn't have to do really anything other than go up and down the neck to get those 2 chords. Well, let's say the next chord is a D minor. You have one right there with this other shape. G minor. So you have a lot of mileage here with those chord shapes, and those are simplified chords. They may seem a bit confusing at first, but really once you have them, of which there are for the 6th string, 1, 2, for the 5th string, 1, and for the chord by itself, that's a major. Over here, 1. Not a lot to memorize, just a lot of fingers or a lot of notes to put down. But once you have these shapes, you'll really be able to play thousands of songs, thousands of chord progressions. And these simplified chords are not only great for knowing this part of the neck and later being able to play lead and everything else over here because you know what the notes are, but until your hand is strong enough to bar all the way across the neck and make a G major, you can use these to get you what you need. And the other great thing about them is most other people who are learning to play guitar are finding it out of a book or having a teacher get them to the place where they can play this great big full 6-string chord, right? It can take up a lot of space. So if someone's over here playing a G major and you're the other guitar player or one of several, you can go D, E, F, G up to the 7th fret, make your triangle, add your pinky, and thin yourself out, play this really beautiful chord here that sonically sounds different from the average G that everyone else plays or the bar chord. And it also leaves space in the music for vocals, bass, keyboard parts, and other things which other musicians will appreciate you for. So learn these simplified chords, I would say, at the same time as you learn your other chords, so that you're getting calluses on your fingers over here, you're getting finger strength, but you're also getting fretboard knowledge, and you're getting major and minor chords that are easily accessible and all right next to each other, as opposed to an F major and C sharp major, which are that far apart. You'll find that those chords are closer when you utilize the 1, 2, 3, 4 strings, counting from the bottom up. Have fun.